Hello and welcome to Leader Night Live. I'm your host, Sawyer Hamilton, and tonight we have an awesome night planned for us. We're going to get to know a leader named Zech, and we're going to have a great game. It's going to be a great night. It's going to be awesome. First and foremost, though, we do want to apologize for some technical difficulties we had last week with the sound. We do want to thank you all for chiming in, and we have it fixed this week, we hope. So it's our second week here. We learned a lot last week, and so we're going to have a great night. Please welcome and join us. Our guest tonight, he is pretty cool. He's just started with Orchard students back in January. He always puts the etch in Etch-a-Sketch. Please welcome Zech.
Thank you. First time I've heard that.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I'm special.
Sure.
So Zech, welcome tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank
Appreciate
you.
that. So first and foremost, tell us a little about yourself. What's going on?
Yeah, as you said, I just started volunteering with Orchard students in January. So it's been a weird time. Like, got involved for 2 months, and then coronavirus and all of these things. So trying to learn how ministry looks, doing it a little bit differently and physical distanced for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've heard that you are from Indiana. Is that accurate?
That is correct.
First and foremost, what's the biggest difference between Indiana and Colorado?
Ooh, definitely got to be the humidity. In the winters in Indiana it's colder, and in the summers it's hotter, and so like it just holds that heat. I think I was talking to a coworker the other day, and she said, "You know, here when I walk outside in the mornings, my nostrils don't freeze." I was like, "Yeah, you know that is true."
Right.
And so,
humidity. Yeah, I always heard like humidity sucks. I've been to Florida. It's a pretty bad time. Indiana, same. So
Yeah.
Dry heat, dry cold, so much better here.
For sure.
So in Indiana, I don't know what there is to do in the free time. So what do you usually do? Like in Colorado, we've got mountains, we got hiking, we got tons of stuff to do outside. What's Indiana like in free time?
Yeah, I mean, if you ever listen to a country song and they talk about driving around because there wasn't anything else to do, like that was literally it. Like me and my friends would meet at Walmart, get into one vehicle, go drive through cornfields, and so like that's what it was. And like when we weren't driving around in cornfields, we played a lot of sports, so that was always good.
Was one of those sports basketball?
You know, it was. I grew up, one of my dreams, I grew up in a college town where Indiana University is. Go Hoosiers. And so one of my dreams was to play on a team that won a national championship. They have 5, and so like that was one of my goals growing up. Didn't make it,
Right.
obviously, but
So it's fair to say you are probably pretty good. So we have a clip here that is of you dunking. And I think we got to show that to the world so we can prove that you are as good as you say you are. So we'll go and take a look at that right now.
Yeah. Like a man.
That was pretty awesome. Like a man.
you know, I'm gonna thank Brendan for that every day of my life. He's one of my best friends from Indiana.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I can't do that, so thanks for showing us what you really can do on screen there.
I'm above average for sure.
That's awesome. All right, so what are your favorite NBA teams? I'm a big fan of the Nuggets and the Bulls and that kind of stuff. What are yours?
First and foremost, being from Indiana, Indiana Pacers, #1. Like, love seeing them get competitive and talking about like the Last Dance documentary.
Really,
like,
yeah.
they were a thorn for a while.
Absolutely, yeah.
Loved them, and then growing up, #2 was Boston Celtics.
Okay.
And now that I live here, #2, obviously the Denver Nuggets. Gotta
Good
love
call.
them.
Good call.
But it was a thing where I became a fan of the Red Sox because of David Ortiz, Big Papi, and then they have the Green Monster. It's just a huge wall out in left field.
Cool field, yeah.
And it was different, and I loved it. And so I became a fan of the Boston teams if Indiana did not. So it was Indiana if you have the team. If you don't, I'm going to be a fan of Boston, except for the Patriots. No one likes the Patriots.
Thank you so much for saying that because there's a lot of enemies here if you're a Patriots fan, so good to be on the good side.
Right, for sure. Like, who wants to deflate gate? Like,
Right.
That's not me.
You don't need that.
Right. But now that I'm here, Denver is that second spot, and then Boston rounds out #3.
Good man. Good man. So, when did you move to Colorado?
I moved here June 29th. I packed up my car, it was loaded full, and I just started driving west. So
Cool, man.
it took me about 16 hours. I left at like 6 in the morning and got here about 9 p.m. So
See those mountains? You're just like, there they are. I'm going right to them.
you know, it was dark by the time I got here, so I didn't even see them because
Aw.
the Eastern Plains are just an extension of Kansas.
Right. It's all there. So how's it been? Like, what's it been like here? You like it?
Yeah, I like it a lot. Humidity, great. Started rock climbing,
Yep.
and so that's been a lot of fun to just be able to exercise in that way instead of only being able to do team sports like in Indiana, where it's all flat, but I can actually rock climb and start to hone some different crafts.
That's awesome. Have you been to what they call Casa Bonita yet?
You know, I have. I work for an organization called Campus Life, and we do a thing each year on Halloween where we take students, dress up in costumes, and we go to Casa Bonita. And I remember that we walked in, and I was like, man, like I'm not sure what I want to get. And one of my coworkers who goes every year said, you should get the chicken fried steak. I don't trust anything else. And then obviously eat the sopapillas.
Yeah.
But that's what it was. You go for the show, you go for the ambiance.
The food's kind of last in the list of what you want to go to that restaurant for, right? Like,
Yeah.
everybody out there, if you go to Casa Bonita, eat the food, enjoy it, but just be wary. You know, you might get some consequences later.
Yeah.
All right, so you mentioned Campus Life. What kind of organization is that? Tell us a little about that.
Yeah, so Campus Life is a passion of mine that I love and I work for. What we do is we go into middle school and high schools, and we do a lot of the similar things that Orchard Students does, of like trying to help people and everything be better. And so we want students to be seen, we want them to be heard, and we want them to know that they're loved. And so we go into those spaces that, like, maybe it's a student that would never walk through the doors of a church, but I can still go in there and talk to them about love and develop this relationship where I can talk to them about Jesus because, like, I care about Jesus so much. Like, that's just something I'm going to talk about naturally in the course of a relationship. But first and foremost, it's letting them, the students, know that they're cared for and loved.
Dude, that's super cool. I mean, you're right at home here with Orchard Students. That's
Yeah.
awesome, man.
Yeah, I
Thanks for doing what you do, seriously, and all that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Sweet. Well, now we're going to go into what we call game time. So we have a sweet game tonight involving artistry and sensory awareness. So what's going to happen is we've got some drawing ideas. I'm going to draw a picture on Zech's back, and he's going to draw the same picture on his piece of paper that he thinks I'm drawing. And then he's going to do the same to me. So really we're going to do that and then compare our drawings to see who had the better picture and sensory awareness of what is being drawn. We'll see. We'll see. All right, let's see how we can do this going here. We got some paper. We got the first picture here. What color do you want? Do you want poop, brown, jazzy purple, or Amazon green?
Purple People Eaters, that was my high school color. So.
All right. So just sit right there.
Yeah.
Make sure you get that firm back so I have a good drawing platform. Let's see what this what it is here. Oh yeah. You get your paper as well
Thank you.
to draw yours. What do you think I'm drawing?
Gotcha. Thank you.
We've got a stool for you. Make sure you can have a solid surface.
Yeah.
Let's see how this goes. My Picasso skills are coming out heavily right now. All right, that is the picture. We'll see how Zech does.
I'm really hoping that it was the sun, because if it was not the sun, then I'm messing up real hard right now.
It did involve nature, so you're close.
Was it a tree? Better not have been a tree. I almost thought it was a tree.
Okay, so the actual drawing was a butterfly in a forest.
So there
we
were
have-
trees.
So there are trees,
But I didn't draw it.
but that's well, not sure how I feel about that one.
Yeah, could have done better for sure.
All right, all right. Now we'll trade some spots here. Let's see here. There's your paper, sir.
Awesome. which one of these was the one that you...
This is the old one.
Gotcha.
All right. Please use poop brown for me.
Poop brown? Yeah, you got it.
Thank you, sir.
This is going to be rough. And so...
Gotta get in the moment. Gotta get in the moment.
Just know that.
I'm picturing a lizard.
You know, that's pretty close to what it is, honestly. Like, that's the best we're going to get for sure.
I pictured a star at first, so let's find out actually how close we are.
So, what it was a sailboat on the ocean.
Hey, I got the sail right. I got the sail. See? I got pretty close. I mean,
that's a star and a lizard. I don't know. At least mine was a sun and trees and nature. Like, that tracks, but you have a star, which is like outer space. And
So, Zech, I don't know, man. That's a close call. Both correlated. There was the shapes that matched. It wasn't too bad. You know, I would have to say let's call this one a draw, okay?
well, if that's what we have to do.
Oh man, that was. Alrighty then.
Yeah, you don't need those anymore.
Oh yeah, we're good. That was our game time. Now, we're going to go some getting real for you real quick. We have a serious question about faith. So Orchard students, you know, we're here to walk through life with students with middle school and high school, help them through their awkward years, and just introduce them to Christ and make sure they know who they are and that Christ loves them and walk with them through that process. So Zech, for you, what was like the big moment in your life that caused you to get serious in your faith and really your relationship with God and how that developed?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I love it. I remember the day so vividly. It was March 18th of 2015, and I was on a spring break trip with Campus Life, actually. So I was a Campus Life student when I was in high school. And we were down in Florida, and the week kind of gets a little bit deeper and deeper talking about Jesus. So, like, the first night, it's like, so Jesus sees you. Like, how do you feel about that? And, like, oh, like, Jesus sees you when you do bad things. Like, how do you feel about that? And then that night was the night they were like, and even though Jesus sees those things and, like, it's hard, he loves you and wants to have a relationship with you. And I remember that was the time that my faith, I realized that it was a relationship with Jesus. Before that, I thought it was rules that I had to follow and things that I had to do, and like I needed to read all of the Bible, otherwise I wasn't going to be good. And so the relationship piece was the thing that changed it all for me. Of like, oh, Jesus loves me and cares for me and the hard things that I've dealt with in my life and wants to help me with those. And so that was just where I fell in love with the relationship. And that night, like, I grew up in a Christian home, and so like, I understood what it was, but that was the night where I was like, man, God, I'm all in with you. I want to chase after you with all of my heart, and like, let's get after it. My life is yours.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, that moment we all remember that, like, it's impactful to know, like, we take that step to make that relationship real instead of just like hanging back and letting it kind of just go, you know?
Yeah.
Thanks so much for sharing that, man. That's super, super important. And also, I just want to thank you for being here tonight. Also, just participating in the game.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So that's all we have for Leader Night Live. Again, I'm your host, Sawyer Hamilton. We appreciate you all coming out tonight and listening and watching, and we appreciate Zech for being here as well. And thanks for showing us your awesome basketball skills. We appreciate that. We're going to have a great time next week as well. Same time, same place. A new leader to get to know and a new game. So everybody out there, have a great week, and God bless. Signing out.